Hello Banjo Pickers, I'm Matty O'Boyle with Realear.com, and we're just going to take a quick look at how to set up the Melody Ear Training web app for the 5-string banjo. And what we're going to cover is equally relevant whether you're picking bluegrass banjo, newgrass banjo, old-timey banjo, frail and claw hammer, thumb lead, index lead. It doesn't really matter what style of 5-string you're playing. This is the general overview that will get you fired up and rolling with the Melody Ear Training app. First thing we want to do is just remember that there's the metronome here, and in ear training, the most important thing about ear training, one of the important things about technique in ear training is to go slowly. Start slowly. Anytime you add any kind of layer of complexity, whether it's a new pitch, whether it's a new rhythmic duration, whether, well, those things, or longer phrases or more octaves, go slowly. And then just work your way up to speed slowly in increments of 3 or 4 beats per minute. And that is really one of the keys to success. Now, for 5-string banjo, at least at the school, we work a lot, we do a lot of teaching out of G. So the reference note by default in the app is C, but a lot of work we do is out of G. So you'll want to be able to change that. Now, a lot of times for ear training, even if we're working in G tuning, we'll also cover ear training in the key. We'll cover ear training with a reference note of D, and even with E, depending on exactly what we're working on the fretboard. So your reference note is something that you'll be changing depending on what you're working on. And finally, when you're doing a lot of ear training, especially for beginners, on using open strings and the the lower part of the banjo, then your octave will be 3. So that's something to keep in mind. So if you're just starting out doing ear training and maybe you're in G tuning, your most basic setting here will be a G here and a 3 here. And after that, it's just, add the notes you want to work on. And if you want a little bit of scaffolding, you might want your dictation to have the first pitch to sound as a G. And that way, right now, the way the settings are, you would hear 4 notes in each dictation, but the first note of sound would always be G, and then the other 3 notes would be random. So you can do that, and also if you needed the last note to sound to be something like a D, then you would know your first note. The way the settings are right now, you know your first note is a G, your last note's a D, and the 2 middle notes are random. So these first pitch to sound and last pitch to sound are good variables to keep in mind every time you add new material. Go slow, use some scaffolding, and that way you transition into each new layer of complexity, and with your ear training, you can go further, faster. Good luck with that.